Your alreet petals, how you deein? It's your girl Lai-Dee Flegman and welcome back to my channel, the most cultured corner of YouTube, where we blend the kinky with the entertaining. You've probably noticed that I like to talk a lot about a certain subgenre of kink.
Oh really?
Okay, I talk a lot about it and today is no different. Yes, welcome back to episode 2 of BDSM101. Today I'm going to dive deeper into the characteristics and archetypes of the dominant subculture. Because yes, there are a multitude of different styles of being a dominant, from the nurturing type of the daddy-mummy dom to the feral beast that is the primal dom. We have them all today. And as I've said this many times before, there's so many misconceptions out there about what a dom actually is, and I'm here to hopefully dispel some of those myths. So if that's something that you're interested in, go grab a cuppa, get some snacks and make yourself comfy, because here we go. And if you don't want to be here, if you click that red YouTube button in the left hand corner, it'll take you to your homepage where you'll find something else. Easy peasy lemons. Also, just like all my other videos, this video will be censored, so if you'd prefer to watch the uncensored version plus some exclusive content including a podcast, head over to the Patreon, link for which is in the description. Thanking you all muchly. Where did BDSM come from? The origins of BDSM and the subculture of dominance and submission dynamics are shrouded in mystery. Some say it dates back to ancient rituals and practices, while others argue that it has roots in literature and art. It's likely that a combination of cultural, historical and psychological factors led to the development of these kinks. One famous figure in the history of BDSM is Leopold von Sacher-Masoch, whose name gave rise to the term masochism. He wrote erotic novels in the 19th century that explored themes of dominance and submission. His works, along with other pieces of literature and art, contributed to the evolution of BDSM as we know it today. Marquis de Sade, the infamous French writer, is often associated with the term sadism due to his writings and lifestyle. He's considered one of the first figures to explore and document the eroticism of inflicting pain on others, an inclination now commonly referred to as sadism. His provocative works such as Justine and the 120 Days of Sodom challenged societal norms and delved into extreme themes in the realm of BDSM and the exploration of human desire. While de Sade's legacy is complex and divisive, his impact on the understanding and conceptualization of sadism in the context of human is undeniable. What is a dominant? So we've talked about what BDSM is, let's now talk about what a dom is. A dominant, or a dom with an extra ME for the ladies, is the term given to someone whom prefers being the one in control. Generally in a sexual sense, but not always. As a dom, they enjoy being assertive, but should also have compassion and be able to offer a safe space for their partner. The old, tired and quite frankly badly presented stereotype of a dom being cold and hard-faced is so vastly different to what doms actually are. I blame a certain Mr. Grey for this misconception, or at least for bringing this misconception into the mainstream. Fun fact, E.L. James had to change the way she was writing Grey's character because she believed the only way you became a dom or sadist was through childhood and was called out for it.
Oh, really?
Anyway, let's talk about some of the mannerisms and behaviours of the typical dom. Dominants come in a rainbow of flavours, and their mannerisms and behaviours can vary widely, but there are some common threads that tend to run through them. Confidence. Doms usually exude confidence. They're sure of themselves and their role in the relationship. It's almost like they've got a t-shirt that says, "I know what I'm doing." Communication. Good dominants are excellent communicators. They listen to their submissives' desires, limits and concerns. They're like the expert translators, making sure that both parties are speaking the same language. The language of love, of course. Trustworthiness. Trust is the name of the game in BDSM. Dominants are rock solid when it comes to keeping their word and maintaining the trust of their submissives. It's like a sacred contract. Consistency. Dominants are often consistent with their behaviour and expectations. This predictability can provide a sense of security for the submissive. Think of it like a well-worn path through a dense forest. Respect. Respect is non-negotiable. A dominant treats their submissive with respect at all times. They're like the ultimate gentleman or lady of the BDSM world. Creativity. Many dominants are creative souls. They come up with the scenes and scenarios that can be like a wild journey through the imagination. It's a bit like being a kinky director for an adult fantasy film. Leadership. leadership is a cornerstone of dominant behaviour. A dominant is the captain of the ship, steering the dynamic in the right direction. It's like being the skipper on a saucy sea adventure. Now, let's talk about the different archetypes of dom out there, because you believe me, there are quite a few of them. Daddy/mommy doms, aka the caregivers. For those who love the nurturing side of BDSM, meet the daddies and the mummies, also known as the caregivers. These types of doms are usually caring and nurturing, taking on the role of caregiver rather than master to their subs. Daddy-mummy doms generally also take part in the kink of age play and seek subs for their cuteness, innocence and playfulness. No, that does not mean they are into children, don't even go there. There is a big difference between an adult acting childlike and a child being, well, a child. These dominants take on a parental role, providing emotional support, affection and structure to their submissives. It's like having a loving, guiding parent who knows how to dish out bedtime stories and spankings in equal measure. The actions of the caregiver may include setting bedtime routines, offering praise and affection, and even administrating timeouts when needed. It's all about creating a safe and nurturing space where the submissive can explore their inner child or simply feel cared for in a deeply intimate way. The master/mistress, aka strict teacher. The master or mistress is the dominant in the master relationship. These dominants are all about control. They're the ones who live by the motto, your wish is my command. They take charge in all aspects, both inside and outside of the bedroom. These types of relationships are usually 24/7 power exchanges, or TPE for short, meaning the control doesn't switch off when they leave the bedroom. It's like living in a real-life kinky fairy tale with your own sexy royal ruler. Typically, the master is the one who takes responsibility for not just themselves but also their sub, far more than any other type of relationship. They make sure that their well-being is kept to the utmost degree, like making sure that they are well hydrated and well fed, hygienic and satisfied both physically and mentally. The master-mistress dom may also have protocols and rituals for their submissives, like specific dress codes, daily tasks, and addressing them with their titles like sir or ma'am. The brat tamer, aka the challenger. This dominant specialises in managing and disciplining brats within the BDSM community. A brat refers to a submissive who delights in pushing boundaries, testing limits, and playfully challenging their dominant. Can you maybe guess what type of sub I am?
Excuse me, you think maybe you could repeat that?
The brat tamer steps into the role of teaching and guiding the brat, maintaining control with a firm yet loving authority. A lot like daddies and mummies, a brat tamer needs to have a playful side to help understand their brat, but also stern enough when it's needed. The actions of the brat tamer involve setting clear expectations and boundaries for the brat, which may include specific rules and punishments. This dynamic is often a playful back and forth, with the brat tamer using a mix of discipline and rewards to manage and train their brat. A brat tamer provides punishments in the form of spankings and timeouts, and gives orders while showing strength and using restraints and overpowering their brats. Examples of discipline may include timeouts, spankings, or writing lines, with a naughty twist.
What a twist!
These dominants make sure their subs learn from their mistakes, fostering a strong sense of responsibility. Their personality is assertive, patient, and good-humoured, enjoying the challenge of taming their spirited brat. Their sense of humour and creativity play a significant role in managing the dynamic, ensuring that trust, consent, and a strong bond between the dominant and their brat are maintained for a safe and enjoyable experience. The pleasure dom, aka the sensualist. On to the pleasure dom, often referred to as the sensualist, and these dominants are all about teasing and tantalising, turning their subs into a quivering, moaning mess on the bed. They focus on enhancing the physical and emotional sensations of their submissive partner, creating a hedonistic and profoundly sensual experience. Think of them as the experts in sensory overload. They know how to awaken every nerve ending. Actions of the sensualist include feather-like touches, erotic massages, and all sorts of sensory play with toys like the foxtail whip. The goal is to heighten their subs' sensations, making the anticipation almost as thrilling as the climax itself. It's a symphony of pleasure orchestrated by these pleasure wizards, and their submissives are more than willing participants. The personality of the pleasure dom is characterised by a deep appreciation of the subtleties of pleasure. They are attentive, initiative, and passionate about ensuring their submissive's pleasure is maximised while maintaining a strong focus on trust, consent, and clear communication. A rope top/rigger, aka the knot wizard. Next we've got the rigger, and they're all about ropes, knots, and intricate bondage. If you've ever wondered how people get all trussled up like human pretzels, you can thank the rigger. The rigger may not even be someone that takes an interest in the art and is more for the art of tying someone up than being dominant over them. They should also be well versed in rope work and have a lot of experience before they attempt anything that would be considered risky. A rigger might spend hours meticulously tying their submissive into a complex harness, turning them into a living work of art. It's all about trust and precision. And here's the kicker, it's not just about the aesthetics. The rigger knows their knots inside out, ensuring their sub's safety at all times. A fin dom, aka financial controller. A controversial dom here, wherein the dom is in control of their sub's money. Not to be confused with a pimp, that's different. Somehow. That's a joke, I know what the difference is, I'm just making a joke about how morally grey both of these activities are. This dynamic typically involves financial domination, where the submissive willingly hands over control of their money, assets, or spending decisions to the findom. A findom demands money from their pay pigs, their terminology, not mine, sometimes to the point of bankruptcy, and will sometimes reward their subs with an allowance. They have been likened to the e-girls and their simps, hence the controversial aspect, because don't you dare go calling out their behaviour. How dare you! Anyway, the actions of the financial dominant include setting financial goals, budgeting, and providing rewards or punishments based on the submissive's financial behaviour. This may involve demanding tributes, shopping sprees, or even financial humiliation as part of the dynamic. The personality of the financial dominant is often assertive, confident, and enjoys the feeling of power that comes from controlling someone's financial resources. Trust and open communication are vital in a fin-dom dynamic, ensuring the submissive willingly consents to the power exchange. Now, here's the controversial part on my end. I don't care. If both parties are consenting and are happy, then it's none of my business. Would I partake in it? No, I wouldn't. Not my cup of tea. But that's just my opinion, not the law. Service top, aka the selfless pleaser. A service top is someone that may not be completely dominant, but enjoys giving pleasure and servicing their partner. A service top is also known as the pleasure dom, but differs from the traditional dom in the way that the sub is more in control than the service top. Service tops are all about giving pleasure to their submissive partners. They derive satisfaction from selflessly providing intense experiences tailored to the submissive's desires. It's a bit like being a professional chef who specialises in cooking up delicious foodie delights. Actions of the service top may include performing various acts for their submissives, such as expertly delivering impact play, bondage, or other forms of sensation. The focus is entirely on the satisfaction of the one they're servicing, making it a gratifying experience for both. The owner, aka the possessor. An owner is a dominant whose sub is into pet play. Together they play roles of pet and owner, with behaviours depending on the animal being played, i.e. puppy, pony, cats, deein, that kind of thing. The owner will train their pet, provide care and love, and even groom their pets. They are typically nurturing and caring, but with a sternness that demands compliance. The owners, also known as the possessors, are all about the power and control. They view their submissives as their prized possessions, and the dynamic often involves a master-slave relationship. The owner might have their submissive wear symbols of ownership, like collars or bracelets, as a visible sign of their connection. Actions can include setting strict rules, rituals, and protocols that reinforce the power exchange. While this might sound intense, it's all consensual, with submissives willingly giving themselves over to their owners, and both parties finding immense satisfaction in the dynamic. The primal dom, aka the wild beast. A primal dom is an animalistic dom into animalistic kinks, BDSM, and other riskier kinks compared to other types of doms. A primal dom stalks and upon their sub and oftentimes prefer bodily strength over bondage. It's like a sexy version of Survivor where they embrace their primal selves and let loose. Actions of the primal can involve growling, biting, scratching, and other raw animalistic behaviours. The idea is to strip away societal norms and let your inner beast run free. It's not for the faint of heart though, but those who crave this kind of intensity find it liberating and intensely passionate. The White Knight, aka the Saviour. The White Knight is a dom that views themselves as their sub-saviour, coming to their rescue and battling their foes. And they are very popular within the damsel in distress kink. This type of dominant embodies a strong desire to provide emotional and psychological support to their submissive partner, emphasising protection, care and nurturing. They view their role as a guardian and protector, taking responsibility for their submissive's well-being and personal growth. The actions of the White Knight dom involve creating a safe and supportive environment for their submissives to explore their desires and vulnerabilities. They often offer emotional guidance, encouragement and unwavering reassurance. This dominant is like a knight in shining armour, ready to shield their submissive from life's challenges and champion their personal development, all while maintaining open communication and respecting the boundaries and needs of their submissive. The sadist, aka the pain enthusiast. A sadist dom is someone that enjoys inflicting pain onto their partners. This can be physical with spanking or psychological with humiliation. A safe sadist will always ask for consent before engaging in any scene and will give ample aftercare afterwards. Now let's explore the sadist. Examples of their actions might include flogging, caning, or more intense forms of impact play. The key here is communication. Submissives usually set their limits and safe words, and the sadist ensures they don't cross those lines. It's a delicate dance between pain and pleasure, and the trust between these partners runs deep. The feeder, aka the nurturer. A more niche dom and less commonly talked about is the feeder. Feederism is a specific type where people are aroused by their sub eating or they themselves feeding the sub to the point of discomfort and or weight gain. The feeder is a unique type of dominant within the BDSM community, focusing on nurturing and indulgence. Their primary interest involves around the erotic aspects of feeding their submissive partner, often leading to weight gain and embracing the role of feeder in a feeder dynamic. The feeder will typically prepare or order large rich meals for their submissive, encouraging overeating and creating a comforting, cozy atmosphere around meals. The feeder may also introduce reward and punishments linked to food, using the indulgence itself as both a tool of control and pleasure. The feeder is often very caring, affectionate and very protective. They derive satisfaction from seeing their submissive partner experience physical and emotional pleasure through overeating, taking pride in providing their needs and maintaining their well-being. Trust and consent remain essential, as this dynamic involves significant lifestyle changes for the submissive, and open communication is vital in ensuring boundaries are respected. The top/switch, aka the versatile lover. A top isn't necessarily a dom, but will play the part within the bedroom. They generally aren't a dominant character and may only be partaking to please their kinky partner. These dominants are incredibly versatile and can effortlessly switch between roles. They're the chameleons of the BDSM world, comfortable taking the reins one moment and then happily relinquishing control the next. A switch can engage in both gentle guidance and strict discipline, or whatever else floats their boat. Their adaptability and open-mindedness makes them a sought-after partner for many in the BDSM community. The challenge seeker, aka the edge player. Last but certainly not least, we have the challenge seeker, also known as the edge player. These dominants are adrenaline junkies in the BDSM world, seeking to push the limits of what's possible while maintaining safety and consent. Actions of the challenge seeker may include extreme forms of BDSM play, such as intense pain, extreme bondage, or public play. They engage in these activities with a deep understanding of risk and a commitment to ensuring the well-being of their subs. Good versus bad dominance, actions and behaviours. Now let's get real about what separates a good dominant from a bad one. Remember, in the world of BDSM, it's all about consent, safety and respect. Good dominance. A good dominant is characterised by their unwavering commitment to creating a safe, consensual and fulfilling experience for all parties involved. They prioritise clear communication, actively listen to their submissive's desires and limits, and respect their autonomy and boundaries. Above all, a good dominant understands that their role is one of guidance and support, fostering a dynamic based on respect, consent and mutual growth. Consent. They prioritise consent above all else. Nothing happens without the clear and enthusiastic agreement of all parties involved. And consent isn't just a one-time thing, it's ongoing. Safety. Safety is paramount. Good doms will have a deep understanding of the physical and emotional safety of their submissives. They're like safety officers on a mission. Communication. They're excellent communicators. They check in with their submissives, encourage open dialogue, and create an atmosphere where everyone feels heard and understood. Respect. Good dominants treat their submissives with respect, both in and out of BDSM scenes. They value their subs' thoughts, feelings, and autonomy. Aftercare. After a scene, they provide aftercare, a crucial part of BDSM. This involves comforting and nurturing the submissive, helping them come down from the intensity of the experience. Bad dominance. A bad dominant is characterized by a disregard for the foundational principles of consent, safety, and respect. They may push boundaries without consent, engage in non-consensual activities, or fail to prioritize the physical and emotional well-being of their subs. Ultimately, bad dominants fail to uphold the ethical and responsible practices that are integral to a healthy and fulfilling BDSM dynamic. Lack of consent. Bad dominants push boundaries without consent or engage in non-consensual activities. This is a major red flag and a big no-no in BDSM. Unsafe practices. They engage in unsafe practices or disregard the physical and emotional well-being of their submissives. Safety should always be top priority. Poor communication. Bad dominants may be dismissive or fail to communicate adequately. This can lead to misunderstandings, discomfort, or even harm. Disrespect. They show disrespect to their submissives, either intentionally or through negligence. It's essential to treat all parties involved with respect and dignity. Neglect of aftercare. Bad dominants might neglect aftercare, leaving their submissives feeling abandoned or emotionally adrift after a scene. Aftercare is vital for emotional well-being. So there you have it, folks, a snapshot of the diverse world of dominance in the BDSM community. This subculture is a place of exploration, self-discovery, and fulfillment of fantasies, with a diverse array of dominants to guide the way. Always remember, consent, communication, and safety are paramount in this world, and it's a journey where everyone can find their unique path to pleasure, connection, and growth. In summary, a dominant in the BDSM world is the one who takes the lead in a consensual power exchange. It's not about being a tyrant. Come on now, say it with me now. It's about trust, respect, and communication. Good dominants prioritize safety, consent, and the emotional well-being of their subs. As for the roots of this kink, it's a rich tapestry of culture, history, and human psychology. Remember, in BDSM, there's a strong emphasis on responsible and ethical practices, making sure that everyone involved is having a safe and fulfilling experience. So, if you're thinking of diving into the world of BDSM, do your homework, seek knowledgeable mentors, and always prioritize consent and communication. It's a wild ride, but a fun one if done right. And that's it for this episode. I hope y'all had a great time and enjoyed the video. If you did, you know the score by now. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the Patreon, all that magical jazz. The next video in this little mini-series will be on the different types of subs and what their roles are within the BDSM community. If that's something you'd like to watch, you know what to do. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed, and until our paths cross again, keep it spicy, keep it sensational, and keep the energy vibrant. This is Lai-Dee Flegman signing off, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!